I think that's
Oh,
it.
we recording.
I
Here we
think we
go.
are recording. We're going at it. Chris, I'm so happy to have you on here, man. This is the third episode, right? Yeah, this is. You're the third guest. So I'm very happy to have you right away. I love your background. That's the way to do it on these Zoom meetings. You know what I mean? I don't do I might need to start having a background. Mine's too boring for this podcast. I need to like do something right, but I appreciate having you on here. And the background is great. And you got a new haircut, just like I got a new haircut after 10 months. And I like yours a lot too. Yours suits you, sir.
We got like a pompadour thing going on over there, and I like it.
You know, I
I like it. Joshua with the part is the Joshua that I need in my life. So
yeah,
yes, sir.
it's the
Yes,
Joshua. Well,
sir.
it's the Joshua people are familiar with. 2020, I think, was one huge experiment, and I think my hair was just a microcosm of that experiment. The problem was the experiment failed. The thing was, my hair grew out along the part, so it was just a huge blob of like it didn't work, and like it wasn't long enough for a man bun, and I wasn't gonna wait for a man bun, nor did I have a desire to get a man bun. So I went
I
back
was
to
saying, man, bun ain't the move, my guy.
it's not the moves, especially for me. Like I got a big head, like it doesn't work. I don't know, but like yeah, I mean, I'm not unhappy with it. This part's like has me a little weird. I don't know how this worked. Kind of like it's like fade. I guess it's literally fade. But yeah, I mean, I just like my
I
part
like
back.
the style. The only thing is that it's not like completely straight.
No, it's yeah, it's like
That kind of annoys me a little bit. If
it
it was a straight line, that would be so fresh. But you
yeah,
can see there's like little bumps near the
there is a
middle.
little yeah, like I don't know. It was my first time going. I'll give it like a 7.4 out of
Oh
10.
no, no, I know that's supposed to round down, but I'll round up. I'll give you
You'll
an eight
round
for
up.
that.
I
That's a
appreciate
great haircut. It
it.
is. The only thing on the side is what pisses me off.
Yeah, no,
And
it
it's
is
not
not.
even that it ruins a whole haircut. It's just, you know, the idea was great. We just got to work on the
We
execution.
gotta work on. Yeah, I gotta tell my guy. I don't know what reference points he needs. A ruler. I don't know what he needs. But yeah, no, it's not complete. So yeah, but I still like the style of it. Like it needed to be done. It was getting so ridiculous. It was again. It was indicative of 2020 itself, which is now coming to an end. Like it feels literally yeah. Like it feels literally. I mean, I've been living in Arizona for 9 months and it's felt like it's gone by in 9 weeks. It's gone by so quickly. This year has gone by so quickly despite everything that's happened. Like it
I know
boggles
every day
my mind.
feels the same.
What'd you
Like
say?
if you told me, I said every day feels the same. If you told me it was April, I wouldn't budge. Like just being in your house every day for 9 months, it gets tiring.
Yeah, it's like yeah, you said that every day feels like no, the Saturday doesn't feel like a Tuesday. The only day that feels different is Sunday because we watch a lot of football. But like other than that, it, the day like literally like I don't go out on Sat. Like I really don't leave my house too often, especially because my work's from home. Like it's really it. Like I don't leave my house too much. So no, I agree with you. Like every day's felt the same, but every day's still gone by so quickly. So I think time just moves
I'm sorry
quickly.
about that. We just got some fire trucks going by here.
It's okay. That's the 2 square miles, man. There's an emergency. What time is it there? 10?
It's
Someone
about 10:15 a.m.
10,
Yeah.
15.
If there's one fire call, the entire town knows about it just because it's that small.
Yes, sir. Absolutely. But yeah, man. No, like it's been an interesting year, but I'm not mad at 2020. Like it's complicated, like I said, I'm not near you guys. I'm not near some of my closest friends, you especially. Like that's been hard for sure. Sometimes it feels like it gets lonely out here because you know you're not supposed to meet new people during a pandemic, right? And combine that with moving to a new city that I've never been to before. I mean, I had like three friends here, but like never been here, don't really know that many people. And then you're not supposed to go out. You know what I mean? It's like that's the only part that's gotten to me a little bit about 2020. But I'm grateful that that everyone I know is at least healthy, doing fine. But like that's the only part of 2020 that's been kind of hard for me. Is like it can get a little lonely for sure.
I mean, for me personally, I'd say it's been fine. Um, you and I are both cut from the introvert cloth, maybe one of us more than the other.
Yeah.
So the fact that I haven't had to go out and, talk to everyone I see, that's been great for me. Um, the only thing that's kind of not ideal is, with this COVID stuff, a lot of my family has, what are they called? Underlying conditions. Is that what it's called?
Yeah, yeah.
So either there's lung problems, there's asthma, there's
Mhm.
factors that put us more at risk to get the disease.
Mhm.
So to have to constantly worry about that has been that hasn't been fun. And the other thing that comes with that I don't like is that pretty much every conversation I've had in 2020 has been COVID centric, which I don't appreciate. You know me, I'm a simple man. I like to talk about nothing, and
It's,
COVID is a big something.
I agree with you. And you know what? I will transition to something big and something totally not co-related. You just graduated. You
Yes, sir.
submitted your last final this Tuesday, I believe. And
Tuesday.
you graduated from New York University. So I want to wish you a well-deserved, well-earned congratulations. I wish I was there. Um, that's an amazing accomplishment. I have my degree. You can actually see the corner of it. It's like right there, right? You can see it. It's like right there.
I see the
Um,
top left corner.
it's like, let me see. Yep, there it is. I can
There
see.
we go.
Yep, I hung it up. It's
There we go.
actually deceiving. It's not straight, and it bothers me every day. I put some
Oh no,
command.
I could tell that it's not straight.
It's not straight,
I
and I'm too lazy to fix it. I just don't look at it enough, I guess. But yeah, no, I mean, I'm so proud of you, man. It's a huge accomplishment, and you've earned it. So congratulations, sir.
Thank you, sir. And one day when you put that diploma up in your law office, we'll make sure to straighten it out.
We'll make sure to straighten it out. You know, yeah, yeah. No, but so I wanted to ask you, was it an anticlimactic experience? Because for me, when I graduated in May, I submitted my final assignment. I was, in my room and I hit send. I looked around and I was like, like we're done. Did you feel that way too? Or how was it for you?
It was pretty similar. Like, you know how for any NYU or non-NYU people watching this, we have this program called Albert, and
Hmm.
that's basically where we register for all our classes. And part of the Albert um, functions you could do is apply for graduation. And I've looked at that button for the last 3 years. And I'm like, yo, this is gonna be so big when I can finally press that button and go through the process. Like that's how I know I'm done. But when you apply for graduation, all you have to click is yes, and then you're done. So I'm like, that was probably more anticlimactic than the graduation itself,
Hmm.
because at least in the COVID world that we're in, I pretty much knew what was going to happen. I was going to send in my last assignment. I was going to be like, all right, I'm done. And since I'm working in my kitchen, naturally the first thing I look at is my fridge.
Right.
Be like, all right, I finished. Let's eat. I
Right.
knew that's what was going to happen. At least with the Albert thing, I had a little more mystery. I was hoping there was some more elaborate process that I had to go through, not
Yeah.
just a yes.
Yeah, see, you graduate in December. I graduate in May. So everything about my graduation has been completely anticlimactic. Like I, I left New York in March. I applied for graduation like I think a month before, and it was just like you said, like you literally just hit yes, and it was like, okay. And then March hit, I moved, and then I graduated in May. I my diploma was sent to my mom's house in Salt Lake City, so I didn't even get my diploma until I went home for Thanksgiving, and then I got my diploma. Like the whole thing was just like, okay, like here it is, like you know what I mean, like this happened, like it wasn't a huge celebration. I don't think there'll be one for May because that's when most of our friends graduate is May, this upcoming May 2021. Maybe there's like like we obviously won't know what the world will look like in 5 months, let alone 5 weeks. Like no idea what's going to look like in 5 months. I hope safely there can be some form of graduation. I'd definitely like to go back out to New York and see everybody, but if it's not safe, obviously, we're not going to do it. But I just hope it's not as anticlimactic for you and I and Matt too, you know, people like that where they didn't get a graduation or they didn't, you know, get that kind of moment or spark. So hopefully our friends, we can be the sacrificial lambs and hopefully our friends can have a proper, you know, graduation.
Yeah, yeah, I hope so for their case. Sometimes they'll lump in the December guys with the May graduates. So
Mhm.
who knows if there is a ceremony, maybe I could take part in it. But I'm not a Yankee fan anyway. They do it at Yankee Stadium every year. I'm not missing that much.
Yeah. Yeah. And they always give you, I feel like when we went on welcome week, that first week, they always give you like that BS speech, like you're now innovators or great leaders of titans of industry. I'm like, I'm 22. I'm just living. Like, or I'm actually not 22. I'm going to turn 22 quite soon in January, less than a month. Like, I
We're in
realized I turned 22 and I think like a quarter of my life is like, hopefully I live past 90, you know, that'd be cool. But
You got the bar set high, my guy.
yeah, I know. 90 is a lot, especially what's the male like average, you know, lifespan in America, like 78.
I was
So
gonna say it's like mid 70s.
yeah,
So
so
90 is pretty ambitious.
90 isn't.
It's gonna require some innovation. Good thing you got that NYU education.
Oh my God. I don't even know where to jump off from that. You're basically telling me calm down, man. Like 90 is a little much.
It's like
Uh,
Dave Hollander. Take it
yeah,
easy.
take it easy. You know what I'm saying? 90 is a little much. No, man, but
Like
like when I
we're
turned
innovators
22.
of like they're telling us we're the innovators of the sports world, but here we are. I'm 21, you're 22. We're both in entry level jobs that have nothing to do with sports. And I know part of that's COVID related,
Mhm.
but they just give you such high hopes at the beginning of the program. Thank God I don't believe in hope.
It's
Thank God.
yeah,
That would be so disappointing.
yeah, it's for me like what I've like my biggest hate one of my biggest hate you've taught me a lot in the 3 years I've known you. One of them is like just not have your expectations so high. And I do agree with that. Like I'm definitely one that can just go with the flow regardless of what's happening, whether I get a raise at my job, whether I lose a job, or whether I get demoted at you know what I mean? Like you roll with it, you don't expect too much. But
Yeah. And by that, I don't mean be pessimistic. That's not what I'm saying at all. I don't want anyone who may be watching this to feel like that, I don't have any joy in life. Everything I look at is terrible. Like, no, that's not the case. It's okay to be ambitious, okay to go after what you want, but like be grounded in your expectations, right?
yeah.
Like they said in freshman year, we're not going to be titans of industry at 22. Like it's not going to happen. Enjoy what you have and use what you have to get what you want in the future. Don't expect everything to come to you right away.
No, and like I've always you've always taught me is the biggest I've always told you this, like the biggest thing you ever taught me is like appreciate the little things. And I've really taken that to heart and it's helped carry me through 2020, man. Because if you think about all the big things that's happened in this year, a lot of them are negative. But if you think of the little things that are positive and illuminate them and highlight them consistently, and that's what you think about, it makes the process easier. Like I referenced earlier, I do get like a little lonely out here. Like the fact that I can talk to you, the fact that I know you're doing okay, you know, that's what matters at the end of the day. And if you highlight and if what's going on, that's what matters is positive, and you keep highlighting that, like I keep telling myself over and over, like my friends are healthy, my mom's healthy, you know, I'm surviving, I'm doing all right. Like I keep telling myself that in my head because if I focus on Jesus, I haven't seen my friends in 9 months. I didn't have a graduate. Like if you just focus on that negative stuff, it does like hamper on your brain. So like yeah, appreciating the little things, um, and you know not you know having too. I guess like you said, like just don't have your
Be
expectations so.
grateful for what you have.
Mhm.
You may look at it, or not you, but someone may look at it as, oh, I haven't talked to my friends in 9 months. The way I look at it, I talk to you guys every day. We have different group chats. Just because I don't see you in person doesn't mean we've completely cut off contact. Like I'm still grateful for the group chat we have, how much I get to annoy some Yankee fans in the chat or deal with some intolerable Giants fans, and that's okay. But I'm grateful for those conversations, and
Mhm.
you do have to appreciate the little things. And I'll tell you one little thing I do appreciate is that sweatshirt
Oh,
because
this
it's
hoodie?
so fire, bro.
Listen, my mom got it for me, first of all. My mom just kind of saw it. It's like, I don't know how to explain it. Number one. Number two, when I got this, and I got this the day before I left to come back to Phoenix from Salt Lake City. And when I left, or the day before I left, my mom got, like, we were in H&M. She's like, you can get a couple things. And I'm like, I want this. This is where I want to be in life. It's not where I'm at right now, but this is where I want to be, is right here. And the day after, I go to the airport, and I never do this, but I got a Starbucks coffee because my best friend, his girlfriend loves it. And I was like,
Big bucks.
yeah, exactly. Right. Like $4 on a coffee this big. Like,
$5 for a small coffee
it's so ridiculous,
or
but
a
I
call,
did it.
whatever they call it.
I don't even drink coffee. Like, I woke up and I went to do this. Like, I don't even drink. I drink water. I'm not trying to be like, on higher ground. Like, it's just not me.
All
Like,
right, you're better than the rest of us. We
yeah,
get it.
I'm not trying to say that, but I don't drink coffee. But so when I went to the airport, because to me, and the way Starbucks makes it, it tastes like dessert, in my opinion. It literally tastes like sugar, milk, cream, and then this much coffee. I mean, it literally tastes like dessert to me. It doesn't give me energy, for me, what I've experienced. Like, but I got one, and the barista, who was a very cute girl, was like, I really love your hoodie. And I'm like, I'm wearing this every day for the rest of my life. Like, I'm holding on to that compliment. I'm holding on to this hoodie until I can't hold on to anything anymore. You know what I mean? So yeah, my mom got for me. It's arguably my favorite gift she's ever gotten me, ever in my life. Like, I love this thing. And I know how much you love SpongeBob, so that's why I decided to come in and wear it today, this morning on this episode. Because
Yes, I'm a big fan of the sweatshirt, and it even got you some points in the girl department, which is insane. Like anyone can appreciate the greatness of SpongeBob.
Hell
That's
yeah.
our childhood.
Exactly. Like, yeah, no, that was a big part of my childhood. That was a big part of my childhood, was SpongeBob. I know, like, it's actually like when you
See, they're
ask,
making all these like spin-offs now.
yeah, I don't care for that. I don't care for that. Leave it as is. Leave the archive the way it is. Um, yeah, like, it was a big part of my childhood. But if you ask people, like, it can be controversial. Like, it can be
Very
like,
controversial.
yeah, it can be parents were thinking, it was like, either, I mean, worse than non-educational people thought, like, you'd end up like Patrick, like, you'd end up stupid if you watch that show. I don't know. Like, there's controversy around it. Like, when, as like, from our age, I feel like our generation, like, parents were really against it.
Trust me, I know. I know. For the sake of their privacy, I won't say their names, but I had a family who I was friends with as a child, and there were three of them. And their parents did not allow them to watch SpongeBob as a child because do you remember I think it was a SpongeBob movie that came out in, what was it, 04, 05? And there was a scene where they're in like some musical number and Patrick is there in like fishnets and the high heels and
Yeah,
the
yeah, yeah. Isn't that
the
the
black
Goofy
booty
Goober scene?
shorts pretty much.
Isn't that the Goofy Goober scene, if I'm not mistaken?
It might be the Goofy Goober scene. I don't remember because I haven't seen it in years, which is a shame. But I remember that visual being the reason why they couldn't watch it. And I talked to them maybe a few weeks ago. And funny enough, SpongeBob was one of those topics that came up. And I'm like, I'm just curious. Like, I haven't talked to you in years, but did you ever watch that show? Because it was around the time when they announced the spinoffs. And
Mhm.
like, that was a big deal to me because it's a next generation
Listen.
of people who can enjoy these characters. But I realized they never got to. So I asked them if they ever watched it. And they're like, we watched it for the first time. The one guy I talked to, like when I was about 15.
Okay.
I'm like, if I didn't watch SpongeBob till I was 15, my childhood would be gone. Like, I don't think I could enjoy it the same way if I hadn't watched it when I was younger.
Oh, yeah. No, it was yeah, it was instrumental for me. It was something that it made me laugh. Oh my God. So I'll reveal something incredibly embarrassing. I cried like a baby when Gary left the home. Like that episode when Gary like left home and like SpongeBob was looking for him and SpongeBob was like going through the photo. Again, this is very embarrassing. So y'all can hold this against me. This is going on the internet, so it's gonna be a very but like when like
Doesn't
that
make you any
sequence
less of a man, Joshua.
I don't know. Like Gary, like SpongeBob's going through his photo album of all his memories with Gary, and he's just crying, and I'm sitting there like 9 years old, not yeah, like not like just bawling my eyes out. I'm like, Gary is gone. Like what? Like I couldn't even fathom. But eventually he comes home, thank God. I should have known. Well, no, not when you're 9, but like now looking back at it, like it's TV. Of course he's like, of course he's coming home. But of
You
course,
didn't know that. That's how good the episode was. You didn't know that. I
exactly.
will say I did not cry at that episode. But I have been known for the final episodes of TV series, for the series finale. I can get a bit emotional during some of them. Just
Well,
because you've been through that journey with all the characters and to see it all come to an end, it's like, oh, I invested so much time in this. Why do they have to end it like this?
that's how everyone felt. Well, I just finished Game of Thrones. I just finished it. My roommate and I don't hang out anymore because we don't. We're done watching Game of Thrones. I'm kidding, Chanel. We definitely hang out.
Oh,
But yes, yeah, that's my guy right there. But we finished it, and he like forewarned me. He's like, "Listen, people are pissed at the way it ends," and I don't know, like is anyone like I'll put a spoiler. I'll put a spoiler in the description that I'm gonna spoil again. Did you?
dude, if you haven't seen it at this point, it's on you. Like
Okay,
it's been
cool.
too long.
Okay, cool. So the way like it ends with like it just didn't like just the way it ends, people are pissed. For me, it was a different viewing experience because people waited 9 years to watch the show or like watch it over a 9 year span and also read the books. I watched it in 9 weeks. You know what I mean? And didn't read the book. So I had a different viewing experience. I wasn't upset at the ending as everyone else, but Shamel like gets emotional every time he sees the end. And he sees the ending like 4 or 5 times. And he gets emotional. There's certain scenes like Hodor, Hold the Door. People know that reference. He got emotional over that. I just don't get emotional over TV shows. Like I watched the end of Breaking Bad. I don't think like when I could understand when people would cry, like when Jesse Pinkman drives out the, leaves like that compound and like drives through the gate and he's like crying like out of joy that he's no longer like just, a freaking rat in that hole that he was living in. Like, I don't know. I don't usually get emotional, but I can understand it. But I just finished Game of Thrones. I wasn't emotional for that, nor was I upset. I didn't mind the ending like many, many, many other people did.
Yeah. If I remember correctly, the reception to not just the finale, but I think the majority of the last 2 seasons of the show
Mhm.
was critically panned, and not a lot of people liked it. So it was interesting to hear that you were kind of indifferent to it.
Well, like I said, it's because I didn't watch it over 9 years. If I watched it over 9 years and how quickly, I mean, the first 6 seasons is so much intricate character development. Like I saw it once. If I went back and rewatched Game of Thrones, um, there was so much stuff that I didn't remember that would come back to me again. And like you learn so much rewatching Game of Thrones each time, in my opinion. Like there's stuff Shamel caught like the fourth or fifth time and like to see how fast it went, to see how quickly the show ended. That is why people are so upset because I think one of the reasons people are so upset and it's like you can get into like integral plot. You could spend this whole podcast. It's supposed to be about fantasy football. We could turn into Game of Thrones. Like Blake told me there are Game of Thrones podcasts. Like 4 years later, there are people, or not 4 years. It's only like a year or two, something like that. Like still talking about this show.
Yeah, it hasn't been that long.
No, yeah,
I think it's been like 1 or 2 years at
yeah.
this point.
I think it's one. Yeah, I think it's one because the season came out in 2019, so it's like a year and a half probably. But like yeah, I think that's why people were so upset. It was just the pace of it, how quickly everything ended when seasons 1 through 6, like there were some events in season 8 that could have been a whole season. Like if this show ended at 10 seasons, I think people would have been much happier. I honestly don't know enough about why it ended so quickly. I know a little bit, but not enough to speak on it. But I think people were very upset at the pace. People were upset about the plot ending itself. I was, again, because I had a completely different viewing experience, I wasn't as upset as other people. My favorite character, Samuel Tarly, lives. That's my favorite character, and he's a secondary character. He's like not even a main. Like he's not trying to get the throne or anything, but he lives. And so many people die in that show. So for the fact that my favorite character lived,
Well, they did just announce a spinoff for that show. If I saw that correctly, it's like House of the Dragon, I think.
yeah, I think if I remember correctly, also it's about like the Targaryen house like 10,000 years ago or something. Like it's about one of the ruling houses. I don't know. I can't imagine a spin-off of any show. Like, but then no, that's
It
not
did
wrong
that
because
before the events of Game of Thrones, then.
yeah, it's before the
Okay.
event of Game of Thrones. But I can't be mad at certain spin-offs because there's Better Call Saul. Now, people think Game of Thrones was like slow moving. That to me is one of the most slow moving shows.
What, Better Call Saul or Breaking Bad?
Better Call Saul. Like I think
Oh, I can't stand it.
it's one of the
Can't stand it.
slowest.
Like, I could barely get through Game of Thrones season 1 because of how slow it was. And I get that it picks up season 2 onwards. I get it. But I could not stand that first season.
Hmm.
Better Call Saul. I know the plots are nothing alike. But if you put Game of Thrones season 1 at zero point 0.5 speed, you get the pace of Better Call Saul. It is a marathon to get through an episode, let alone an entire season.
Yes.
Which was so different from Breaking Bad because I could watch like 5 or 6 episodes at a time and feel like only 20 minutes has gone by.
Right. And it's like a huge roller coaster of emotions. Like Breaking Bad felt like a roller coaster, not even necessarily at roller coaster pace, but like
No, but because it has you feeling so many different ways,
Mhm.
it's easier to get through. It goes by much quicker, in my opinion.
Better Call Saul's a grind. I watched the first 3 seasons. I haven't watched since. Um, and there was this culmination at the end of either, I believe, season 3. Um, Huge event happened, but I'm asking myself, did it take 3 years to do that? Like, I understand it, and I appreciate more slow than fast because I think Better Call Saul has covered all their bases. But the first half of season 2, I swear, is just a recap of season 1. Like the first half of it, I don't think anything new happens except going over what happened in season. Like I don't know, but in regards to Game of Thrones, like people think Game of Thrones. So I thought Game of Thrones was a perfectly good pace, perfectly fine to me. For the first 6 seasons, then 7 and 8 were too fast. But I think Better Call Saul is one of the slow, like for its popularity, for the acclaim that it gets, which is deserved. I agree. I like the show. It is one of the slowest shows I've ever watched.
It's
It's
how can I put this politely? It's a methodical pace.
Mhm.
Um, and I have even less patience for that when it comes to spin-offs because by that point we've already introduced the world that these characters are in. There doesn't need to be that much exposition, in
Mhm.
my opinion. Like obviously you're going to introduce new characters, but the majority of it we already get. We
Mhm.
don't need a season and a half to go by before something somewhat significant happens.
Right.
You know?
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, that's a good point. That is a really good point. I think it's because we also like want spin-offs to be good because they're based off such a great show. Whether I mean, people have come up the second a show is great, they automatically want to come up with a spin-off. Like there's talks of an Office spin-off, didn't happen, but like The Office,
It didn't happen yet.
it didn't happen
It
yet.
can happen. It didn't happen yet.
I don't expect it to happen. It
I
could.
think it will. I honestly think it will. Without Michael Scott. But they will do it again. There's
Then
too much money for them not to do it.
without Michael Scott like that, he was like everyone knows season 8 and 9 are not as good as the first 7 seasons, in due part a decent amount because Michael Scott wasn't in it. So it I don't know. I don't know.
I mean, I'll be the first guy to say I hated Andy as a boss.
Hmm.
And seasons 8 and 9 were definitely not at the top when it comes to premiere Office content.
Right.
And a lot of that is because of Michael Scott. But I think there would be good stories to tell
Mhm.
just because you have so many characters who didn't really get an actual spotlight on them.
Right.
Like one of them, which I'm really excited for, is Uncle Stan. I don't know if you've seen any of the content for that yet, but the guy who plays Stanley, Leslie David Baker, I think his name is,
Yeah.
he went on Kickstarter and just asked a bunch of Office fans. He needs $250,000 to get the money to start season 1 of his own spinoff show that he had his own idea for. And they abolished that number. They gave him like $400,000 in a month. Just because people are so excited to see characters that never really got a spotlight on the show. Like if you made a spinoff series based on Creed, that dude is so off the wall. I would kill for that show.
Yeah.
But if you're gonna do the same dynamic where it's the whole office together and there's no Michael and Andy's the guy in charge, I'm not too interested in that.
Right.
I think just because of nostalgia purposes, a lot of people would at least get a trial for Peacock because I'm assuming that's where it would be.
Mhm.
And a lot of people would tune in. Whether it's good, I don't know. I'd say kind of unlikely. But if they explore different stories, that could be interesting.
It really it shook me. I forgot Peacock was a thing because I wanted to watch Parks and Rec. I was in a mood and it wasn't anywhere. And then I'm like, where's Parks and Rec? It's on Peacock. And I was so hurt. I was because it went from Netflix to Hulu and now and I have all that. I have Netflix, Hulu. My roommates have HBO and everything. Like we have almost everything. I have Amazon Prime. Um
I can't get a streaming service just to watch one show, though. That's what kind of why I got the Office box set at home. Just because, all right, I could spend $30 on this and have it for the rest of my life.
mhm.
Or I could spend $9.99 a month for a service I don't care about just to watch one show.
Watch one show. Yeah, and the reruns too. You know what I mean? So it's like it's not ideal for me. I don't think it's ideal.
I definitely wouldn't, but they are making the most of The Office on Peacock. Have you seen what they're doing with this?
No, I haven't yet. I haven't really paid attention.
So they are making on Peacock a 24/7 Office channel. So essentially, like on cable, how you have shows that run forever, there's one channel that live streams episodes of The Office every hour of every day, as long as the service is running. So there's a dedicated Office channel. They're releasing deleted scenes. They're doing exclusive content with each of the secondary characters. And they're trying, again, to get that reboot off the ground. So they're investing a lot into that show. I don't see it being successful, though. Just because you don't have a lot of content to support it. Like if you could tell me 3 other shows on Peacock, I could Venmo you $20
Yeah, no,
without looking it up.
no, literally Parks and Rec. I don't know anything else that's on. So
No.
we'll see, bro. I mean, I don't know. It's very interesting. I know The Office is gonna, I just think that's way too much. I like The Office. I thought it was funny, hated the ending, but I mean, like, I'm not that big of a fan. I could see myself, the farthest fandom I go is buying maybe some Office related merch, a Dunder Mifflin hoodie, maybe. I could see myself doing that, but more than that is
I did get one of those as a gift. I did not buy it, but I have received one as a gift.
I'd get one of those. I'd get one of those. But I want to transition to what this podcast is quote supposed to be about. We've talked. I don't even know how long we've talked. But we have fantasy football playoffs. We're recording as of Sunday morning, so the Saturday games happened. There's 2 matchups left. I got eliminated. I was very. I wasn't upset. Last year when I missed the playoffs, I was more upset. This year I made it. I got eliminated. My team didn't show up, so it happens. I'm just happy because if I didn't make it, I'd be with Honorog as one of the teams that haven't made the playoffs yet. Everyone in our league has made the playoffs in one of the 3 seasons, except Honorog. So I didn't want to be, as much as I love Honorog, love you to death. One of the reasons we're doing this.
It's not a company you want to be in, though. And that's no disrespect to Honorog.
And that's no, because we all love Honorog. He's on the pedestal as one of the favorite people in the league, like collectively.
Yeah, heart and soul of the Bobix Daddies group chat, I would argue.
Absolutely. So, so I'm happy I made it. I was eliminated, but there was nothing I could do. My team just didn't show up. I was just happy I made the playoffs. So we have 2 matchups left. We have Jason and Bobby, and then Noah and Attiker. In my opinion, if I had to pick who's going to be in the championship and who's going to win, I'm going to say Jason beats Bobby, Noah beats Attiker, and in the championship, I'm going to say Noah beats Jason. That's my opinion. That's my take.
Interesting. The thing that I love about our season this year, it was so competitive, right? Pretty much every team was in contention for a playoff spot through like week 11, which is insane. Like 3rd and 10th place were separated by 2 games. And I really do think that I'm not going to call any teams frauds or anything, right? But I will say the teams that are left are dangerous. Any of them could go off any given week. I was a little shaky about Attiker, but then, you know, Cam Akers' season happened the last 2-3 weeks. So now I'm fully on board. Bobby is the least talked about 2 seed in league history. Like, that dude puts up points, but no one gives a crap. So, I mean, I'm not that I'm rooting against Jason, but I want Bobby to have a good showing. He needs to get the respect he deserves.
Okay.
His team's nice.
Yeah.
And he can easily put up 130, and none of the players on his team would overperform.
He's been super consistent and really good as a fantasy football player in the 3 years we've had him. I like that you brought that up, that the 4 remaining teams, in my opinion, deserve to be there. That's what also gives me ease. Like when I lost to Noah, I have so much respect for Noah as a fantasy player throughout the last 2 seasons that he's been in our league. So like I really didn't have like a problem losing to him because he's a great fantasy player and I have a lot of respect for him. Like if I lost to different people, other people in the league, I might have been more upset. But no, literally like the 4 teams that are left, Noah, Attiker, Jason, and Bobby, all deserve to be there. And I think they've played, I mean, Attiker is the number 1 seed, Bobby's the number 2, and Jason had a great week. He just needed to get in to prove himself, and he did.
Had a great trade deadline. How his team looks now compared to what he drafted, you could convince me it was 2 different teams.
Because if I just say his team, like the first 6 players, okay, Michael Thomas is now on IR. But if you say the first 6 players, you know.
Yeah, where did that come from?
Yeah, he just got
put out of nowhere.
And I don't know why that happened. But if you put the first 5 players, Aaron Rodgers, Dalvin Cook, Josh Jacobs, DeAndre Hopkins, Michael Thomas, you could say that's like a Madden Ultimate Team. Like it's that good, you know, to me. And
crazy is people were sleeping on Rodgers during the draft.
Oh,
I remember that. There were a decent amount of people that didn't want to pick him.
Blake like drafted Matt Ryan, I think 3 spots ahead of Rodgers.
Blake
was like, Matt's gonna have a much better year than Aaron Rodgers, and arguably Blake's coldest take maybe ever. And that man knows football. Like he really knows football. So I think we all have biases when we draft our own players, thinking they're gonna have great years. But I think even that one was shocking that he took Ryan's over Rodgers. I think he took Rodgers in the 10th round. I don't want to speak. I think it was the 10th round, but like just see
the majority of quarterbacks started coming off the board. Like I want to say 8th round and after.
Yeah.
Because that's around like, I think Josh Allen territory was somewhere around 8th round. And then after that, all the QBs started falling off.
And he's been great. And he had a great game yesterday, 4 touchdowns, 359 yards, 2 passing touchdowns, 2 rushing touchdowns.
He was legit.
Yeah, he's legit and he's great. And I've like, I don't want to toot my own horn, but I've always liked Josh Allen. I've always thought he was going to be good. And he has been, which is great. But I want to hear your take. Who do you think's going to be in the championship and who do you think's going to win the championship?
as much as everything I said about Bobby is true, I'm a big fan of Bobby Love. I do think Jason pulls it out this week.
Me too.
His team is just too stacked. I mean, I don't know who is going to replace Thomas as his flex, but when you look at the rest of that team, what I love about that team, I'm a fantasy guy who loves safe players.
Yes.
I don't want someone on my team if they can score 25 points one week and 3 points the next week,
Hmm.
which is kind of why Tyler Lockett has been so frustrating, but he has won me a couple games. Um, Jason's team, I love as a high floor team. Like, even when they do poorly, they're going to put up respectable numbers.
Okay.
Unless there's just 1 week where I think Jason had a few weeks ago where he put up maybe like somewhere around 80 points just because everyone on his team did poorly.
Right.
And I don't expect that to happen again because you look at that team, there's too much talent. Matchups are fairly decent. I don't expect Jason to have one of those weeks. I think it's a high floor team. I think he's going to put up enough points to beat Bobby. I think it'll be close, but I think Jason pulls it out.
Okay. I like that. I like that take. And then what do you think about Noah and Haneker?
Again, I love Cam Akers' season. Noah Landau, he beat you by 15 points, and Mahomes had 3 picks.
Yeah.
Like, do I need to say anything else? Honestly, like, you had a good team. You did. Some guys underperformed, but it wasn't a bad showing. And his quarterback had 3 interceptions. He lost 6 points. But the rest of his team picked up the slack, and Mahomes made it a respectable outing. I think he had 2 touchdowns last week.
Mm-hmm.
And it's, 17, 18 points? So even when your quarterback is throwing a ton of picks, everyone else is picking up the slack, and he gets it done week in, week out. I know he had a rough start to the year, but I'm telling you, by week 5, week 6, there were people in the chat that were like willingly placing bets on Noah Landau to win the whole thing.
Yeah.
Dude's smart. He knows what he's doing.
He does. He does know what he's doing. So does that mean he beats Attiker, in your opinion?
He does beat Attiker, in my opinion, this week. And Attiker, I want to say you put together a hell of a season. You are the number 1 seed in the league for a reason. You had a great year. Unfortunately, I do see that coming to an end. But if you're able to pull out the win against Noah, props to you, man. Ride Cam Akers to the chip.
Hey, so if you have your championship matchup the same as mine, Noah and Jason, who do you think would win? I say Noah wins, but that's just my opinion.
It depends who Jason replaces Thomas with.
I think so. He's going to start Ayuk at wide receiver 2. And I think,
I don't like that.
Bro, have you heard some of the stats around him? I think he's had like the last 3 games the last 5 games he's played. So just to preface that he's missed some time. He's put up 115 yards, 91 yards, 75 yards, 95 yards, and 119 yards, respectively. So
I hear that. I do. But it's the same reason. Well, there's 2 reasons. First one, I don't know, it might be kind of like a Will Fuller situation where you don't know if he's going to play week by week. He can get hurt. And then on top of that, I don't like the guy that's throwing to him.
Me neither.
At all.
As a Niners fan,
I know, because I had to start him 1 week, and it was garbage. So, I mean, as great as he's been, there is every chance he can fall off.
Mm-hmm.
And even if he is putting up those numbers for the past 5 weeks, which are great numbers,
right?
I don't know if that's sustainable.
Right. Yeah.
At this point, all it takes is 1 bad week. And when you have Nick Mullins at quarterback, that bad week can be any week.
Yeah.
So in that case, I would probably pick Noah.
Okay. So you and I have the same predictions.
No.
Noah beats.
But just watch, because I say that Ayuk's going to have like 225 and 3 touchdowns over the next 2 weeks.
As a Niners fan, I'm
They
very
will pull it out.
I'm very
I
happy he's playing tonight.
yeah,
I think he's played really well. Like you said, it's any bad week. I mean, I scored the most points in the league this year. People don't want to, address that, but I did. I did
that's
a
not
little.
the most important stat though.
No, it's
That's the
not.
thing.
It's something that I can
It's this
sleep
one.
exactly. But I know. But I did a little calculations, a few just for I was just having fun. But I've scored the most points in the league over 3 seasons. I've scored the most points and no rings. So goes to show you that, like you said, it can be any given Sunday, as they say. And
Hold on.
no, you're good.
I'm gonna have to decline that real quick.
No, that's all
Keep
good.
going.
But what was I gonna say? Like you said, it's any given week. I put up the most points in the league this year, and then when I made the playoffs, I played not well. I put up 108, 100, yeah, or 104, something like that, some very low. So I agree with you, but I think Noah's incredibly consistent. I think he'll win. I think he'll win this league, and that's no. I hope that's no insult to Jason or his team, AZ Death Row. He said everyone's on death
Oh
row.
no, he's
Everybody.
pulled off I think some of the most incredible trades in the 3-year history of this league.
Can I?
Like how he pulled off. What did he trade? Who did he get back for James Connors? Dalvin, right?
Yeah. They also traded away Keenan Allen, who's been, in my opinion, unbelievable this year.
But an elite running back is more valuable than an elite receiver.
I agree.
Because especially in a PPR league, there are many different ways to find solid receivers.
Mm-hmm.
There's just a finite number of elite running backs. It's a very small number.
Yeah.
And the fact that Jason was able to pull that off. When that happened, because I was talking to him about a trade for running back at that time.
Okay.
And when I saw that he got Dalvin, I'm like, our trade fell through because of that, but I can't even be mad at it. Like I have to respect it.
He knows how to talk. That's a smart.
Yeah.
That's a
If
smart.
I got that trade 10 times out of 10, I would take it.
Mm-hmm. Jason's one smart, but I think it was one of the few win-win trades. Honor got a great receiver and a decent running. I don't know. I mean, Dalvin Cook and what was it? Dalvin Cook and someone else. It didn't really matter for like James Conner and Keenan Allen. So I mean, yeah, it was Dalvin Cook and Mark Ingram who has been terrible. But Dalvin Cook for
Ravens
James
running backs in general have been unplayable.
unplayable. And I want to ask, since you said you were in trade negotiations with Jason, there's been periods throughout the season where we've traded a lot. I think there was one week where almost every team conducted a trade.
Yeah.
Except the man I'm talking to. You did not
What it do, baby?
You didn't execute a trade all year. You did not make one single trade. You
Correct.
were the famous Saquon Kittle Galladay drafter. So everyone got hurt.
Terrible. He versus the IR never won.
Never won. Can you explain to me your because you drafted great receivers. You drafted Tyler Lockett, Tyler Boyd, Jamison Crowder. Earlier in the year, your personal favorite, John Brown.
I love me some John Brown. I have him in both leagues, by the way, and he's taking up my IR spot in both leagues.
Can you kind of like, from a philosophical standpoint, we all learn from each other as fantasy managers. Can you explain to me a little bit your reluctance to trade?
I wouldn't say that I'm reluctant to trade. I wouldn't. I would say that I'm reluctant to doing deals that would not benefit my team. And I will say I got a decent number of trade proposals this year. There were none that I felt would really benefit my team.
Okay. So
because a lot of people were asking about my receivers, obviously.
Right.
And what I was getting back was not worth the value of those receivers in a PPR league. It just wasn't.
everyone was offering you some food. I believe you. Chris. Yeah. You're one of my favorite people. So I'll believe you when you say that.
I will say the trade with Jason that I was going to do before the Dalvin thing happened. We had something along the lines of a package around Tyler Boyd. I was gonna get A Gib. I was gonna get Judy,
Wow.
and I think another bench piece, which I was ready to do. And then that trade happened. And I'm not gonna lie, I was pissed because I really wanted A Gib. I needed him for my running back situation, and I could afford to get rid of Boyd, especially since Burrow went down maybe not even 2 weeks later, and he had Ryan Finley throwing to him for 3 weeks. So that would have been fantastic. But when someone offers you Dalvin Cook, you take it. So I get
Honorog comes in at the last minute. You can't ever estimate the Honorog, who has, I'll put it on record, in 3 seasons by far the worst win percentage of anyone in the league. He's out of 40 regular season games, he's missed the playoffs all 3 years, unfortunately. I feel like I'm shitting on Honorog. I feel bad, but it does need to be said. He is 13-27 as a fantasy manager. By far the worst in our league. I hope I want to see him in the playoffs. I want to see this kid win. If it's not me, you know how I made preseason rankings last year just for fun,
Yeah.
and I found like everyone a horrible Facebook photo and like made preseason rankings. I'm gonna do that again. I want Honorog to win this thing so badly because no, I don't know. I want him to win so badly.
He might actually throw a parade if that happens.
I want to. I want to celebrate when it's safe to do so. I want Honorog to win this league so damn bad. If it's not me, I want him to win. I want you to win. I want him to win. I want me to win.
Party at IHOP already, right?
That punishment. I think we won't even do a podcast for that. We'll transition to like a different vlog style. Like I don't know how we're gonna do it, but that man's gonna have to be in IHOP for a very long time, eating a lot of pancakes. And I know that boy's in shape, and he's very disciplined with his dietary, how he eats. So I don't know how that's going to work out.
I would like to say I'm the same way, but I would love this punishment. I would.
You love IHOP.
You put me in an IHOP for 24 hours. I lived there freshman year. It's like it's like homecoming. I'm coming back home.
Who was that server you were like?
My girl Rhonda.
Rhonda.
No, me and Rhonda go way back. I'd go there studying for finals because I just couldn't be in the same room with my roommate. It was terrible. So I would go to IHOP to study, and Rhonda would give me. I'd order a short stack of pancakes. She'd always give me an extra 2. I'd talk about what I was going through with my psych class. Shout out Jason for taking that also, but sometimes I just can't study with other people.
Right.
And I would talk to her about what was going on with my classes. Rhonda had some of her own stuff she was dealing with, and I was willing to talk it out with her, but I got some free pancakes out of it. Now she's living her best life as a barista at one of the Manhattan Starbucks. I don't know which one. That doesn't limit it that much.
No,
but I know that is her occupation now, and I'm sure she's thriving. Rhonda, wherever you are, thank you for getting me through freshman year. I appreciate it. And it's a shame that when Anurag goes there, he won't see Rhonda. Because that would make the punishment so much easier.
I'm very excited to see Anurag do this punishment. And we're going to support him. We'll help.
Of course.
We'll help pay for the bill because it might be a little bit of a big bill. We'll help pay for it.
Yeah, 24 pancakes. It ain't cheap.
Exactly. So we'll make sure we help pay for it. We'll make sure we're there to support him. I might eat a pancake or 2, show up a little hungry, help him out. But that.
Wait, hold up. So if Anurag has to eat 24 pancakes and you eat 2, does that mean Anurag has to eat 22?
I don't know.
That's a game changer.
It's a game changer. It is a real question. We can address that as a group. I don't want Anurag to suffer because he's one of my favorite people, but he does have to execute the punishment. And Anurag has been willing and open to do this punishment, unlike a certain Matthew Edelman who waited a year, but then exceeded his. I got to get him on here because
I will say he did way more than
he exceeded all expectations through and through. What we asked him to do and what he ended up doing was ridiculous. I would have never done that. I would have accepted the punishment as is. I don't think you guys would be capable of doing this, but
No, if that happened literally any other year, it wasn't 2020, and I could go into the city, I would be following him the entire day because I need to see that in person.
listen, again, I don't want to hint too much at it when we get Matt on here, but I Googled, or I didn't Google, I went on Twitter and I searched Washington Square Park to make sure what he was doing wasn't trending, to make sure. And then I maybe I haven't been in New York enough recently. Obviously, I haven't been there in 9 months, but I forget it's New York City. No one
You
cares.
get people like that not even every day. You get that every 20 minutes.
Exactly. So what Matt did, I think, fit the setting. I think if he did it in a different setting in a different city, I don't know, but it's Washington Square Park in New York when you see everything and anything. Um,
I
so
could never be the one to do it though.
I
So
could
I got to give him props for that.
no, because one
I,
day,
I
God
couldn't.
forbid, if an important, like, I don't know, I would just be too nervous to see the potential of who could, see that. So I don't know, but um yeah. Yeah. So Honor will do his punishment. He will do it. And I'll help him if I can, but he's gonna have to spend a lot of time in an IHOP. He's been last 2 out of the last 3 years. I don't want to see him in last ever again. He's taken up enough times last place. So
What are we setting the over under at in terms of pancake eat?
and pancakes eaten.
That would be an interesting
Got
prop
a
bet.
big stomach, man. Like I don't know how much he can put away. Like I don't think that boy's in shape, and that boy he takes care of his body. He's very much into mental and physical health. Like he takes care of his body really well. I take some of his advice often on mental and physical health. So I don't think he's out there, eating a bunch of pancakes with a lot of butter and maple syrup too often. I think he has good portion control. So I don't know how much he'll be able to eat or how long he wants to stay in there. Like it's up to him. So but I think the most important thing is that he'll do it. And I know some of the homies will definitely want to help him get through it. So that's really it. But over under pancakes eaten over a 24-hour period, I don't see that. I don't think that boy can eat a lot. I don't know. I can't even put a number on it.
I don't know what Anurag will eat, but in full disclosure, I'll tell you what I would eat
Okay.
because when my two running backs went down, that was the first thought in my mind. Not how am I going to make the playoffs? It's how am I going to get through IHOP?
Right.
So I was like, there's no way that I'm even close to making the playoffs, which somehow that happened. I don't know how, but I had the strategy thought out. So I was going to go there. The one in Dobbs, or no, the one close to Dobbs opens at, I want to say 5 a.m. I couldn't wake up that early.
Right.
So I'd get there at 6 and I'd make every intention to get out of there by 6 p.m.
Okay.
That was my goal.
Okay.
So if I could eat 12 pancakes and cut it down 12 hours, I'd consider that a win.
Okay.
That would probably be the most I could eat.
Listen.
And I'd bring my computer there, do work in between. Every hour, hour and a half, I'd order another 2, 3 pancakes. And that's how I'd make my way down.
I would
But
just
my
make
target was 12 hours.
12 hours. I would just make sure if I was doing it, I would make sure I'd give the waiter or waitress a very nice tip because I'm taking a lot of time and rotating. So I got to make sure that the tip is proper because I'm, taking up space and time, the amount of people I could file in 12 hours. I don't know if we have to clarify because here's the thing. I could talk about this in a different episode, but I've gone through a pretty decent weight loss journey. I lost 75 pounds, 70 pounds, 75, 70 pounds. And I don't care. I don't care what stage of life I'm in. I can eat, man. I can still eat. That kid from 4 throughout high school, he's still in the back of my mind here and there, and I can eat. So I don't know if I want to make it like one pancake an hour. Some people said a stack takes an hour because I ate a stack recently with Jason.
Absolutely
when you said absolutely not.
Absolutely not. I'll stick up for Anurag for that one. There's no way 24 stacks.
Or a stack meant an hour. So maybe he stays in there for 18 hours and eats 6 stacks collectively throughout, the time. But like, I ate a stack recently, and to me, it wasn't bad. But again, I don't have the. I work with my weight every single day. It's something I still have to continue like fighting and dealing with.
You
Like
ate a stack. You didn't eat 18 stacks.
I think I could eat like in one sit. Like if you gave me the first hour, I could eat. I could eat like a solid 3 stacks, four
I was
stacks.
gonna say 2 or 3 stacks in the first hour is fine.
Yeah. So then
But
you already
eventually, you're gonna have diminishing returns. Like, you can't eat 3 stacks every hour.
no, he won't. He won't. He die. He'd die. Like
No.
he would die. So I don't know. I'm very much looking forward to it. I'll say that much. And I
I'm
would
just thinking, like, from the restaurant's point of view, right? There are so many different um, people that could come in and occupy that table over the course of a day.
yeah.
I'd start to get really pissed, even
I,
if he was there for like 3, 4 hours and I was his waiter.
we're gonna have to figure that out. We might have to like collectively like hit the wage and be like, hey, listen, this is for a YouTube video. Like we're not gonna make any like no like we're not gonna what's it called? Disturb the peace or whatever the police say. Disturb the
Any
like, we're not gonna
any noise after 10 p.m. is disturbing the peace in Dobbs
exactly.
Ferry.
Exactly. So I'm gonna tell them, hey, we're not gonna do that. We just gotta. This is like a thing we have to do, and hopefully it's receptive. We'll see. We'll see how it all plays out. But I'm excited for Anurag to do his punishment. I hope he never comes in last again. This twice is enough in 3 years. I hope he doesn't come in last for 10 years.
Did we have a punishment the first time?
No, we didn't, and he came in last the first time, and he lost 11 games in a row. He started out 3-0.
I think that's why we started the punishment,
I think
right?
that is why we started punishing people in this league because come on, man. 11 losses in a row. Come on. We can't. We can't have
You have to have some consequence for that.
exactly. But
But Anurag, nothing against you, man.
nothing
You're
against
great.
you, Honor.
Doing you. Eat some pancakes.
We
Have a
love
good time.
Honor. We love you.
It's all love, my guy.
I think this is so as you and I both know it, we could talk forever, but I think this is a good time to cut it. It's been an hour already. I don't know how.
Has it?
It has. And I try
Oh my
I'm
god.
yeah,
It's
I'm
11:15.
yes, it's 11:15, it's 9:15 over here. I need to like make like I don't know if you people want these shorter stuff like that. Like I said, I need to buy like an external hard drive or something because I only have so much space on my computer. And when you download an hour Zoom call, you know what I mean? And it takes up a lot of room. So like I'm trying to get these shorter and also for entertain. I This was very entertaining. I like this better. I love doing it with Noah last time. The only thing is I had left too much like screen time, like just like the fantasy football thing itself without seeing our faces and like our emotions and stuff. So I like this better. I just like man, with you, like I could talk forever,
We
and
talked about some nothings. We talked about some somethings. I'd say it was a productive time.
it was a productive time. I really enjoy it, Chris. We talked, off podcast recently, but I'll say again, I miss you a lot. I miss everyone in New York a lot. Basically, everyone in the league. I miss you guys so much. Like I said, like I referenced earlier, like it can, and I'm not afraid of it. It can get a little lonely for sure. Being away from all your friends. This league has people that's gonna be at my wedding. I think all you guys are gonna be at my wedding. So it's been hard not being able to see you, but like I said, we can do stuff like this and turn to a podcast, put it on YouTube where it'll get 20 views. For the people who aren't in this league that watch this, I very much appreciate you. I'm trying to make this thing better. I want to make it better each time, and I'm experimenting with it. So I appreciate you for all the non-league members that watch this. It's very much appreciated.
Yeah, for all the 6 people who watch this who aren't in the Pop Daddy's Football League, we do appreciate your viewership. Thank you so much for tuning in.
Thank you.
Even a lot of what we talk about might not even make sense to you.
Might not
But
even.
thanks for sticking with us.
Yeah, and I
You're
want
out
to
there. I don't even know if you're out there.
exactly right. I want to make it make sense, like I said, this podcast has turned into one big experiment, and I'm gonna see how it goes. I like that Anurag told me that we should do video, and I agree, because I think there's just a lot of value to that. So Thank you, Honor again, for always making stuff shake, man. This is what he does.
I
So
said it, heart and soul.
heart and soul. So, and Chris, most importantly, thank you, man. Hopefully, we see each other when it's safe, sooner rather than later. You were a great guest. This was an absolute pleasure. So thank you, man.
I appreciate it. Thanks for having me on, and to everyone else in the league that I haven't gotten to see since COVID. Hopefully when it's safe to do so, we can all get together, and it would just be great to see y'all again. But congratulations on a great season. Very competitive. I'd say the best season we've had so far. Um, and if I had any takes that you did not agree with when it comes to your team, I apologize. But I'm just trying to make some good content here.
And you are, as always. So, and to you, Chris, and to everyone watching, thank you so much. And we'll see you guys next time.